As part of Youth Month, we look at research and development in innovation amongst young people in enterprise development. The recent call for the youth to innovate in the entrepreneurial space to adapt to the new era of the fourth industrial revolution is gaining momentum. The private sector is coming on board to engage in research and development innovation challenge as part of an effort to contribute to the local innovation ecosystem. To tell us more about this is Zweli Mnisi, who is head of media relations and stakeholder engagement at Nestlé South Africa. Thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thanks, Colin. Thanks for having me.
How did this initiative come about?
Well, Colin, if you look at businesses that have prospered in the past, they not just compete, but they collaborate. So for Nestlé, we realized that as part of our ecosystem in South Africa, we need to have an impact, we need to empower startups. That is why we sat down as a team and said, we don't just want to do innovation for the sake of ticking the boxes, but we want to build, sustainable growth for these businesses. Because we could have simply put in some investment, give to the SMME or startups. But instead, what we're doing is that we give them human capital. We take them through our research and development center, which is centered in Côte d'Ivoire. And through that, they'll be having mentors, they'll be having access to some of the leading business people within Nestlé. And through that, we believe that's the real impact of innovation. It
looks like there's a problem in terms of education. For young people to innovate, they should have maybe gotten this from a young age, maybe the basic schooling system. What do you think in terms of education? What can be done to enhance their ability to innovate?
Absolutely. I mean, the sooner the better, but it's never too late to learn, So that is why as a company, our cornerstone in terms of creating a healthier nation, we also need to make sure that we work with those partners. So from an education perspective, Nestlé doesn't claim that we have a solution for all these problems, but we're saying we will play our part and we'll ensure that we take them on board because, being a global company that is present in South Africa for 103 years, we always look for innovative ways. And as they say, companies that do not innovate, they'll probably die. So the 103 years that we've been in this country is testament of our belief in innovation. And we can only do so if we reach out to a Colin who is in a township, who has a brilliant idea but no access to some of these markets. And through this challenge, we're simply saying, here's an open market. All the creative innovators out there, come engage with us and we can partner.
Right. So when you go deeper into the subject of innovating, how do you see it play out where you're going to do the engagement of the young people? Is it going to be at university level or are you going to start with the young people from high school going upwards up until the entry level of the entrepreneurial stage?
Well, for this program, we've partnered with certain partners, the Kinaya Ventures, who have presence and have expertise in terms of running this program. So as a company, we don't just, go out there and select based on perhaps people that we know. So they'll be able to identify strategic universities within South Africa to say, at the university level, there's certain people who have this entrepreneurial skill, but they not have been gotten support. So we will be venturing into that space, but also the role of the academia cannot be overemphasized because what we want to do is to turn that academic knowledge into practical implementable programs that can benefit them and benefit the country in turn.
Yeah, so the accounting and auditing systems in as far as financial literacy for young people, especially when you get to the innovation side of things. I mean, the budgeting for huge projects, when somebody has this as Greek to them, how do you introduce them?
You speak the global language because I'll make an example. South Africa doesn't operate as an island. We are part of the global team. And if you look at some of the things that have been done by South Africans throughout the world, it's because of you don't sit there and, minimize yourself or tell yourself that you're a small player in an African continent. So that is why we've gone to 6 countries within the continent. That's why when we pitch those ideas, they will be competing or looking at other peers of what they're doing because that's how you collaborate and they can learn from each other.
Okay, so going forward, given that you are in the food sector, do you think there's still a need for innovation even in that space? Or is innovation in the industrial revolution, the fourth industrial revolution, all about computers, robotics, and the likes?
Well, as Nestlé, the fact that we understand our consumers much better, it's not because we go to a factory and develop a product or maybe whether it's a chocolate or noodles. What we do is that we listen to what our consumers want and then we go to our research and development center so that when we share the food that we produce out there, it's things that people love and also embrace. So from an ongoing perspective, we always look for innovative ways because as we say, 103 years in South Africa, it's because of we reinvent ourselves continuously. But that is not based on, some fluffy manga business. We go out there, get into the detail to say, what is it that within the food industry affects people? And because remember, we want to make sure that we create to a healthier South Africa.
All right. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us.
It's my pleasure.
Zweli Mnisi is Head of Media Relations and Stakeholder Engagement at Nestlé South Africa concerning research and development in innovation. Let's take a break. When we come back, the program continues.